I know. And he's making me take my level up. I'm here with
Brandon Knight.
and
Sam Islam.
I want to know, what do y'all think about this community?
I think for an industry that is based around technology, we're slow to change.
And what do you want to learn?
Bridging the gap of the customer's journey of where they're trying to get to.
My objective in this world is to take over and evolve how we sell.
For lack of better words, I totally agree, and I think we come here, we all get together, we try to figure shit out. But I feel like we need to connect after.
So I'll tell you this, as a community builder, if you want that, you got to build it. It's because it's in their best interest for their businesses.
Here to show up and show out. Here to show up and show out. What? Here to show up and show out. Here to show up and show out. Yeah. Here to show up.
Welcome to Shut the Hell Up and Sell, Unfiltered, the podcast that's not afraid to tackle the uncomfortable truths and bad habits that keep you from reaching your potential. I'm your host, Ronell Richards, award-winning sales expert, author, and top influencer in technology channel sales. Each week, I sit down with industry influencers and top performers for bold, honest conversations that are designed to cut through the noise and deliver real, actionable advice that you can apply immediately to grow your career and boost your sales success. No fluff, no excuses, just real talk, real influencers, and real results. Let's get into it.
Here to show up and show out. Here to show up and show out. Yeah.
So, I want to know, there's some things that I'm going to be doing in this space, and some things Maylee and I are going to be doing in this space as well. But I want to know, we're here at Channel Partners. What do y'all think about this community? What are maybe some of the gaps? What are some of the things you feel like maybe should be talked about, maybe should be addressed? How can we take this to the next level?
Wow. Some of the gaps, that's interesting. I'm gonna tell you, if I look at something that I would like to be different, or I think let's call it a gap, like you said. I think for an industry that is based around technology, we're slow to change. And that's not normal, considering that technology changes, like that part of the industry moves fast. But us as an industry, us as a channel, I think there's still a huge part of this channel still doing, the definition of insanity, still doing things the same way they've always done them, and simply expecting it to be different. I think the way partners approach their customers has to get better. I think the way TSDs approach the partners has to get better. I know nobody wants to say that kind of stuff, but I think we need to progress. I think we need to get more advanced.
Sam, what do you think?
So, you get two perspectives here. Brandon's a vendor, I'm a partner.
Yeah.
Right? And we sell Zoom, we sell other vendors and things like that. Shout out Zoom. But here's the thing, and here's where I see a gap, and here's what keeps bringing us back every single time.
Yeah.
We're here to learn.
Okay.
We're here to
Do
understand.
you feel like you're learning?
You know what?
And what do you want to learn?
What's next for my customer?
Okay.
Right? At the end of the day, it's not just about price. It's not about the value. It's about bridging the gap of the customer's journey of where they're trying to get to.
Okay.
Right? I'm a partner that sells across the board. I'm their IT and telecom trusted advisor.
Okay.
So when it comes to solution offering, I just don't want to sell you something and leave. Right?
Got you.
Right.
I want to build meaningful relationships. So one of the things in Channel X where you ask what's missing is, let's bridge the gap of how
I like the terminology of gap better than missing, because I feel like missing is like being critical. I'm not trying to be critical, but there are gaps that we got to address.
Listen,
But I like the learning things. I think the learning thing applies to all of us. I think it applies to the vendors. I think it applies to the partners and the TSCs. I think I agree, but that's what I think. Like when you say you want to know what's next, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like as an industry, if you ask somebody what technology is next, they're like, oh, it's AI. I mean, they'll say it in some different format, right? But everyone's talking AI or the advancements in security. But if you ask what's next for us as an ecosystem, what's next for the relationship that these guys have, what answer do you think you get from them?
I think it's tough when you ask, what answer do you expect? What answer do I think they'll give?
Yeah.
It's like, well, I thought you guys already supposed to have this figured out.
Exactly.
You guys are my trusted advisor.
So Sam, 100, like, because,
Exactly.
and just so you know, the content, and I didn't have you sign any releases or whatever,
This is
but
not
like,
scripted.
but I keep it 100.
Yeah.
And I feel like part of the way that we can make this business better is by keeping it 100.
Absolutely.
Right? And so, like, you came and you're here for that education piece, to know what's next. Do you feel you get that?
You know what? I'm hoping to get that out of it. You know, we're on day 2 out of this. I've attended the show for the last 6 years. And at the end of the day, you know, one of the things is this show is not.
So Sam, this is bigger than the show. Because what I'm talking about, and you're a perfect person to talk to because you're a TA, I'm talking about our business, right? So like, how can we be better service to you, to help your business grow, to help you to evolve?
So loaded question, but I'll give you an unloaded answer.
Okay.
There's different components and there's different moving pieces, right? We deal with vendors, we deal with TSD.
Your answer sounds loaded as shit, bro.
Listen, man, I'm trying to unload it.
If not loaded at the very least.
Oh, he's like, hold on. Who do I not want to offend?
Shoot, man. Come on.
Look, at the end of the day, I'll tell you one thing.
Yeah.
It's our customers don't have the relationship with the vendors. Our customers have a relationship with us, right? They trust us. Again, TA, trusted advisor, whatever you want to call it. But our thing is, if we're not bridging that technology gap for them, I mean, what are we really here to learn in the industry? I'm here to learn from my peers. I look at I'm from Canada, okay?
But I want to answer to that question. Is the learning happening?
Look,
I know what you want.
Hold on. Whenever somebody says, "Hold on, look, man."
Look, man.
But I want to keep it. I want to keep it real. Is the learning happening?
But you listen, you know I have a platform, and you know we do this stuff because I put it out in the world, and I don't want you to be uncomfortable. So if you're uncomfortable giving an answer, don't give me an answer.
I'm most comfortable in the most uncomfortable situations.
Okay.
I'm that guy. I'm that guy. So I keep it 100 like you said.
Yes.
Right? At the end of the day, let's play aces and ace. You know me on the poker table, right?
I got you. Go ahead.
I don't think we do enough as a community to evolve each other. Forget the technology aspect for a second, right? Let's talk about us evolving as a community and bridging those gaps for our clients. We all have the same clients. Everybody's trying to sell to the same clients. But what I'm trying to say here is, I don't feel like we work together as much as we should. And I'm not just talking about vendor relationship. We build those vendor relationships. I'm talking about partners, right? I built a great sub-agent program in Canada.
Yeah.
I got 40 people that, don't know these vendors from a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
They know Avega, they know us, right? And they trust us.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm bridging that gap with them.
Mm-hmm.
I built that relationship. So I feel like in our community, we all need to do a better part of that. So that's
I appreciate that, Sam.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to lead you in a certain direction. I wanted to get your honest thoughts and opinions. You're the most important person here because we
100%.
both exist to serve the community that serves you.
That's a fact.
My objective in this world is to take over and evolve how we sell, how we enable trusted advisors like you. If you're asking me, what you didn't ask me, I think we do a shitty job at
I'm not going to tell you as long as you recognize it.
Well, I've been in this business since 2001. But what I mean, in developing partners and getting deep into your business, strategic. And when I say that, it's not throwing shots to say we do a shitty job. Does not mean that they're shitty people. It's people that have not been taught. They don't know how to bring that sort of value to you. So what they do is they buy you shit. And take you out to places instead of getting deep in the trenches with you and providing value in your business to become that sort of trusted advisor that you are to your customers.
I totally agree.
Make sense?
Yeah, you said it.
Do you feel like that's a gap that we can work on?
I absolutely think so. I absolutely think so. And for lack of better words, I totally agree. And I think we can't build everything. And again, I'm gonna relate it back to the show. We come here, we all get together, we try to figure shit out. But I feel like we need to connect after to fill in the rest of the piece of the puzzle.
So I'll tell you this, as a community builder, which is what I've always done.
Yeah.
If you want that, you got to build it.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing in
I was
Canada.
going to ask. I was going to ask that if I can. I agree with the learning thing. I don't think there's enough done to actually do development. But what I tried to figure out is, in our ecosystem, whose job is that? Is it the vendor's job? Because you know most vendors. I'm a vendor, right? Most vendors, what's their focus is? I want you to learn the technology so you can sell it better.
Right.
Right. If I'm looking at it from like the TSD perspective, they simply want whatever you sell to go through them.
Right.
Right. So they want to teach you. So you as an individual
I got an answer for
business
that
owner,
too, by the way.
right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I want to like whose job is it? Whose role is it to pick up that gap and fill it? Like you said, Bridget, whose job is that?
It's yes. Everyone that you just said.
100.
Not because it is their job, it's because it's in their best interest
Exactly.
for their businesses.
Yeah.
If I as a vendor or I as a TSD can get deeper involved in your business and provide that sort of level of value and impact that you provide for your clients, I can get more share of wallet, I can get you more productive, I can get your loyalty in a business where we try to buy loyalty today.
Exactly.
You feel me on that?
Exactly.
No,
100%.
those are great points.
It's the difference between building value into the relationship versus trying to buy, like you said, trying to buy the loyalty.
Yeah, incentives. Here's
yeah.
10K. You hit this much. Here's an extra 10,000. Hey, listen, extra 10,000 in my pocket is better than your pocket. I'll take it. But again, it doesn't bridge the gap.
It's not long term.
Sam, sales 101. What did we learn from day one? If you sell on price,
Oh, you gonna lose on price.
thank
baby.
you.
That's a
Y'all,
fact.
do y'all hear me?
Okay.
Trying to buy
Trust me.
market share?
Yes, yeah, that does.
You
not
know
work.
what? That's going to work until somebody comes along and says, "Oh no, I'm going to give a
Exactly.
13x
Exactly.
spin."
You know what's even worse than that is when you're talking some of these complex technologies that require a consultative sale, like when you're talking CX, cybersecurity, and stuff like that. They're not buying on price anyway.
They're not buying on
So
price
if you go in there and try to sell on price, you're literally creating an objection that didn't exist until you got there.
Right. You couldn't have said it better. 100%. I totally agree, especially in that.
Yeah.
More,
You got to be consultant.
Sam, I knew we were right here, bro. We just had to walk a little bit and get you comfortable. I know.
So it was okay.
Because he's like, "Hey, listen, I got a business to run."
Yeah.
You
I
know.
got vendors to keep happy.
Yeah,
I
I
bought
got-
a Carbone tonight.
I
Somebody's
did it.
paying for it.
And it ain't me, right?
You just gotta do like I do. I tell people when I do these things, listen, the opinions I stated are my own.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, they are not the opinions of Zoom or anybody else that work there.
This is my
These are
opinion.
my opinions.
Okay,
That's
listen,
my disclaimer.
I appreciate y'all chopping it up with me. Thanks for being part of this
My
community.
brother.
When we share like this is how we
Appreciate it,
grow.
man. Appreciate you.
On camera, look in and say what's up to the community out there.
I got to say one thing before we close this out, okay? Because we did talk a little bit about this, but I'm all about like being intentional. This gentleman right here is doing all of us a service, considering what we just talked about with the learning that he's providing. Shout out to LinkedIn Learning. Okay, I've been on there. My man has some good series, and I know there's more to come. So I want to say
Sir. Thank you, sir. Okay, look into the camera and say you're okay with us putting this on. Are you good, Sam?
Listen, man.
Make sure you.
I run my own business. I'm good.
Okay, Sam, good. BK, you're good?
I'm good, baby.
Okay, and
I'm
BK's opinions are only his.
That's my opinions. That's
not
right.
Zoom.
They're not Zoom.
But it was
No.
all beneficial. Zoom shouldn't be mad at that.
Yeah,
so
yeah, it's all good.
I appreciate y'all.
Awesome.
All right, let's go get
Gentlemen,
some.
it's a pleasure. I got to run to the next meeting. Brandon?
Thanks for tuning in to Shut the Hell Up and Sell Unfiltered. If you found today's conversation valuable, make sure you subscribe, rate, and review the show. For more resources, including gap assessments, custom sales consulting, or online courses designed to take your sales game to the next level, visit me at ronelrichards.com or head over to sayless.academy. Until next time, remember, stop talking, start listening, and shut the hell up and sell.
Here to show up and show out. Here to show up and show out. Here to show up and show out.